Today, I'm joined by Rob Rossi from the opening series and Chef's Bar on TLN. Thank you so much for joining us.
No, thanks for inviting me.
Of course. Now, these have been such unprecedented times, I think. So I just want to know how you've been adapting to this new normal.
Well, I think, it's hard. It's hard for me to, I would have never envisioned this would have happened, especially to the restaurant business. I mean, the pandemic is obviously a terrible thing, but then it hits on another side for restaurateurs and chefs and people in the business. So it's a hard thing in terms of how we're adapting to it. Right now, I'm still building a new restaurant. So I guess to a certain degree, I've been preoccupied. So I'm hoping that this will end soon and we can get back to normal service. If it doesn't, I think we're going to have to start to explore some other options, be a little bit creative and innovative with how we can adapt to it and how we can carry on business, even if it's on a smaller level.
And have you thought about what that kind of new restaurant world would be beyond the pandemic? If in fact, people are still required to social distance. When you go to a restaurant, you want to interact with the chef, you want to talk to the waiters. How would that change?
Well, I think if we look at what they initially did in New York City, which is they sort of limited capacity to 50%. I think that is going to help, but to get to what you said, which is the real truth about it, is the restaurant business is a very intimate thing, and it's a very personal experience. So when you take away the human aspect to it, it's really not fun anymore. I mean, the whole reason why I'm in the restaurant business is really to make people happy, is to interact with people. And I think it's going to have a really adverse effect on everybody. I mean, the dining scene itself is not going to feel the same. It's not going to be fun to go out to a restaurant when you have to wear a mask and you're going to stay 6 to 8 feet away from someone. So, I mean, let's hope that it doesn't get to that. And if it does get to that, let's hope that that's for a small amount of time, and then we can get back to doing what we're doing. I don't know. I mean, I don't think anyone knows. I think it's going to be something that we're just going to have to, unfortunately, wait and see how it transpires.
Of course. And interaction is such a big thing with what you do. I mean, Chef's Bar, of course, you sit down, you cook for people, you talk to people. Have you done that with technology? Have you done any quarantine cooking in these past few weeks? Yeah,
so I do a little bit of it on Instagram. I haven't done as much as I would like to do. I do have a new daughter at home, so Charlotte keeps us busy, and between Charlotte and trying to maintain Giulietta and trying to build the new restaurant Giulia, it's sort of fallen a little bit, put on the back burner a little bit. But I mean, I did one last night. I did a beautiful recipe last night. It was a pesto risotto with some spring peas, pecorino. I think I'm going to try to do 1 a week, 2 a week. Maybe do some videos, but right now I do a mix of videos and stories. So, I think it's a great time. I mean, look, the best part about the virus that I can see, if there is any good part about it, is that people are staying home with their families and they're cooking. And in a sense, it kind of brings us back to, times that seem long gone or never going to happen again, but they're happening now, which is we go out and we buy food and we cook with our families. And I think if this has any lasting impression, hopefully that the family aspect will be something that will stay. Because I think it is a remarkable thing. I mean, I don't think that Canadians have ever cooked as much.
No, I definitely have never cooked this much.
Yeah, there's no way. I mean, cooking 3 meals a day, it doesn't seem that arduous. But I mean, look, as a professional chef, it's simple. But for people at home, cooking 3 meals a day, cleaning 3 times a day, organizing everything, grocery shopping, it takes up pretty much half your day. So it is a good thing in a sense. It reminds people of how important it is. It reminds people of how much they love their families. And it reminds people that cooking is still a very important thing, and it's always going to be. And it's going to help develop a culture, hopefully, that, like I said, is going to stick around for a long time.
Of course. No, everyone had to kind of put their careers on pause, or that crazy busy lifestyle that everyone was accustomed to. So
absolutely.
It's been a great experience. And I want to talk to you, Rob, about Opening Spain, because it is airing on TLN right now. An incredible show. You get to explore so many different aspects of Spanish culture. Have you been able to talk to some of the people that you met while you were there and how they're doing right now?
So I did speak to one gentleman that I know, and I think that it's very surreal for them too, because they obviously had it was a very severe impact to them, both on the economy, people's health, I mean, everything. And it was just a very unprecedented sort of time there, and still is. That in Italy, they're both hit very, very hard. I think people are optimistic. I think especially people in the Mediterranean, they're very optimistic. They're very laid back. And I do believe they know that it's going to pass. And, you know, they're doing the same thing we're doing. They're just trying to stay at home, trying to stay positive, trying to cook, trying to find things to do. And a lot of people, you know, they're not working from home as much as we are. I mean, we're a little bit more dynamic in North America. We can do a lot from home. Sometimes they can't do that. So a lot of them are sitting by the sidelines. But I mean, look, the lifestyle in Spain compared to the lifestyle here, they've always been very laid back. You know, we're at a 9, they're at a 4 at their busiest.
Yeah.
So I think for them, that the impact is definitely more emotional than it is physical. I think them quarantining is, I mean, no one likes to do it. I mean, but I think that they have a little bit more of a laid back approach, and I think they can get through it. They're going to get through it.
Of course, of course. And thinking back on that situation, like when you were there shooting, what was the best moment? I mean, it's full of so many great memories, but what was one of those moments that you were just like, wow?
You know what? I think being in Alea, it's a remarkable place to be. It's absolutely beautiful. It's where they make cava. It's fantastic. Going through the streets. I mean, the famous street, the Ramblas, is incredible because it's a pedestrian street. So everyone's going through the markets. The markets, cooking with Craig. I mean, Craig and I have cooked for so long. Really, the whole trip is incredible. I think that I would love for people to experience what Craig and I get to experience. I mean, we get to go inside people's houses, experience the real food of the regions, go to the wineries, go to the markets, meet incredible people. It's a very amazing place to be. I mean, it sounds just, you know, odd to just say it like that, but it really is. It's just an amazing place. The weather is phenomenal. I mean, the whole thing is just, it's great. I'd love to go back. I've been a few times, but hopefully when this is all over, I get to go back.
Of course. No, that's one of the great things about the opening series. I think when you go as a tourist to Spain, you don't get to see these things. You do La Sagrada Familia, you do the big tourist spots.
Yeah, yes, of course, yeah.
This is actually authentic.
Yeah, you see the Gaudi stuff, and you see the Baroque streets, and I think those are the typical things. But when you go beneath the surface, and really what I'm trying to say is you have to meet the people. Because the people hold the keys to how the culture is. And when you get into the food and into the lifestyle, you really get the essence of what the Spanish culture is really like. And really it revolves around food and wine. It's really that simple. And I mean, Italians are the same way. I mean, half of their day is dominated by food.
And wine.
And wine. I mean, so when you have a lifestyle like that and you throw in great weather in a beautiful atmosphere, it's incredible. I mean, I know we're not talking about Sicily, but I think when you guys see how it is in Sicily, that even takes it to another level. I mean, it's the craziest place to be, and it's so beautiful.
Of course. That was actually my next question, because Opening Sicily is coming to TLN very soon. We haven't been able to see any of it, but is there a story or a sneak peek or something that you can share with us that is going to absolutely blow our mind about Sicily?
Yeah, I think that there is, if anyone has a chance to go to Sicily, you have to go to Catania. Catania is on like the northeastern side of the island, I believe. It's right where Mount Etna is. It's on the slopes of Mount Etna. It is a town that is, city really. I mean, it's a large city that's completely trapped in time. At one point, actually, Etna had erupted and pretty much covered half the city in lava. So there's old Roman and Norse ruins, and then it's been recreated in a Renaissance style. So it's a super dynamic city. It's a little bit hard to get to. It's not as simple as flying to Rome. I mean, you have to take another flight. Once you get there, you're very tired, you're jet lagged, but there's so much to explore. And I think it's a region that's going to really, really, really pop. I think especially when people see it, they're going to be blown away.
We're very excited to see Opening Sicily. And of course, it's
so beautiful.
It's such a great dynamic that you have with Craig. And I'm curious, have you been able to see Craig since this started? Have you guys been able to chat? How is that going?
So I haven't seen Craig. I haven't seen any of my friends really. But I do speak to Craig quite often, and we catch up and, you know, talk about how things are going and what the plan is. I mean, I think as restaurateurs, myself and a few of my friends, we're all kind of a family. When someone does something or we have tips and tricks or, you know, how are we going to get through this? We do it together. And I think that's the one thing that the restaurant business and being friends, it's always going to be beneficial to us when we stick together. And you'd be surprised what we can do after this and how easily we can get through this. And I think it's that togetherness that sort of, it helps all of this, you know, because we're not the only ones in this. I mean, everyone's in it, but when we look at the restaurant community as a whole, it's a very small community. So we all know each other.
Amazing. And I actually have one more question for you. Of course, so
Sure.
many people back home, they look up to you. They see you on Chef's Bar, they see you on the opening series. And a lot of these people might be small business owners, or they have a small mom and pop shop, restaurants. What advice would you have for them? Because it's going to be really difficult for them to get out of this compared to, you know, a large chain restaurant.
Yeah. I think that you have to tap into your entrepreneurial spirit. I mean, everybody that has a business, from a laundromat to a giant restaurant to trucking company, people that start businesses have determination. And I think that you have to look at the bright side of things, and you have to look, it's a long game. This is not about, you know, this is not about 3 months. You have to think the next 10 years. And yeah, this puts a damper on things, but it's a drop in the bucket compared to how long that you could have to actually run your business and grow it and correct things that have unfortunately broken down during the time of the pandemic. You can't give up. I think that's the biggest thing. You can't give up. Try to look past this and try to think about what you're going to do after and how you're going to get yourself back up to par, because it's very easy to give up. I mean, I think the easiest thing that you can do is actually give up. If you just say, well, it's going to be hard, I'm just going to slide the key under the door, I'm going to go home. Hang in there, try to do your best, try to make improvements to your business. You can still improve it. I mean, I'm at Giulietta now. I mean, we're painting, we're polishing floors, we're cleaning, we're repairing things. I mean, this is the time to pump love back into the business, and whatever you put in, generally you get out. So don't give up, keep yourself busy.
Absolutely. It's an opportunity, I guess, to make things a little better right now, that there is that pause.
Well, yeah, there's a pause. I mean, when else are you ever going to get a chance to do nothing? I mean, I'm not a guy to do nothing. Don't get me wrong. I'm not walking up and down the streets and shaking people's hands, but I'm staying busy. I think that I can't sit at home, so I'm definitely staying busy. I'm trying, like I said, we're trying to make all the adjustments we can here. So when we open, we can give a little bit back to the people. And I think that's the way to look at it. Just keep yourself busy. Keep yourself busy, and keep yourself busy with good things. You know, read a book, you know, do improvements to your house. If you have a business, go in there, maybe clean up the accounting, clean up your office, do little things that are going to make you feel good.
And Rob, before we let you go, do you have a message for all the viewers that see you on TLN?
Yes, I just want to say thank you to everybody that watches us. I think that, you know, you guys are the reason why we have a show in the first place. We love the inspiration that we can give you, and you guys inspire us to keep creating. So thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for joining us, Rob.
Thank you so much. Okay, we'll talk soon. Thank you.